BC, how's it going? Erik the Viking again. In a very good mood today. Got my funk on. This is Ernie in the top notes with that walk. Right, so yeah, it's now has come the time for me to show off some of my favourite funk and soul albums. Now, I picked them at random, but as usual, I've got a massive stack here, so it's probably going to be quite a long video. So if you watch the whole thing, I'll be very proud of you all. Yeah, so where do I start? Don't need to go too much into detail, obviously. You guys are probably all going to dig what I'm showing. Yeah, obviously there's shitloads of stuff I'm still after, like with anything really. Obviously it was James Brown that got me into funk. I still remember hearing Sex Machine for the first time at a family wedding. I think I was about 7 years old. Blew my mind. I still remember that. I remember being 7, being at this wedding, hearing Sex Machine and just dancing and loving it. And yeah, and I think my dad bought me a James Brown CD after that. But I knew I Feel Good before that, and Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, because they were sort of tracks that my dad always played. So yeah, you know, funk is a big part of my life. And then when I heard There's a Riot Going On by Sly, that was it, I was hooked. But I just want to say, I'm not showing any Funkadelic, any P-Funk, any Sly or any James Brown, because I've done separate videos for those. I feel like there's no point. So if you haven't watched them, watch them. Okay, so this track here now, like I say, Ernie in the top notes, That Walk, which is from this album. One of my favourite funk comps, the Funky 16 Corners, put together by the awesome Stones Throw label. This came out in 2001. Stones Throw are an amazing label. They put out a lot of decent... I'm a big fan of underground hip-hop generally, but they're home to Madlib and Dilla and MF Doom and people like that, which was how I heard about them. And not only that, they also do awesome funk albums. Most of them are on the subsidiary label Now Again and also Soul Cal. But this is one of the really early Stones Throw releases when they just had the Stones Throw label. Actually quite hard to find now. When I used to work in the shop in Notting Hill, we only ever used to get this in as a promo, and promos don't have sleeves for Stones Throw stuff. So it was always a plain sleeve, and we'd always sell it for about 35 quid straight away. So this is the first copy I ever found with a sleeve. I actually got this, I think I got this on eBay for a couple of quid. So, you know. But yeah, if you're wondering who these cool cats are on the cover, that is the legendary Kashmir Stage Band. So basically, yeah, this whole album is, I'm playing through the whole album here, is all just really obscure funk tracks. You know, like singles that are worth 4 figures, that sort of, the real deep funk shit. The good stuff. Yeah, I mean, and obviously the great thing about Stones Throw is they go into so much effort. There's a little bio on each track, there's awesome pictures, you know. So I mean, and you know, some of these tracks I think were even unreleased. So it's Egon who does all the funk stuff. He knows his shit, man. Awesome guy. Yeah, so you can see there's Stones Throw label. Their B-side label, or is it the... Yeah, their B-side labels always have the logo and then they have the details on the other side. It's double disc. So I thought I'd start with this little comp. If you haven't got it, get it, because it is sick. Every track is a winner. So that's that. So now we're going alphabetical now. Also, this is not on the Now Again label, which Stones Throw own. This is actually Egon's own label, and they deal just with funk stuff, obscure stuff like this. Amnesty. Now this came out 2007 and was an unfinished album. But basically, what Egon does, he tracks the band members down, because this band released one single in the 70s, which is heavy as shit. Egon tracks them down and usually gets a tape or two off of them of old sessions and shit. So that's what this album is, the 700 West sessions. I think their only single was on the Lamp label, which was quite a prolific label at the time. This is also an awesome album, especially the first half, because they're full tracks. I think the second half is just demos with just guitar and vocals, but these guys, as musicians, they were shit hot, of course, but they're also a really good vocal harmony group. They're fucking banging. So if you guys haven't heard this is another one I'd recommend, especially, like I say, the first 7 tracks are full group tracks. The last 3 are just the demos, but still, really good, man. and you can still get this fairly easily. Next up, the man, the master, Mr. Roy Ayers. This is my favourite Roy Ayers album. The first one of his I actually heard. He's Coming, of course. It's the second Ubiquity album from '72. Just phenomenal. Of course, this has got We Live in Brooklyn Baby on it, Sweet Tears, Ain't Got Time. He's a superstar. Oh man, this album just floors me. And it took me a long time to find a first American pressing of this in such good shape. I used to have one before that. I mean, look at that. That is like the coolest picture, man. And it's funny. I still remember when I first heard this album. It was summer 2006 when I first started getting into. Well, they call Roy Ayers Rare Groove, but obviously a lot of people know who he is now. This was when I first started digging deeper than the stuff that everyone else knows, and I was discovering shit like the Stones Throw stuff, and at the same time I heard this and was completely blown away. That's how I heard it. I picked up a copy from Notting Hill, which was absolutely shagged, but it was a promo, but it was fucked, but it did me for the time being, So yeah, sorry, I'm losing myself here. Yeah, so that album just reminds me of summer 2006, because that was when I first heard it. This is the first pressing, stock pressing. I'll show you. It's in beautiful condition. I think I paid about $50 for this, which to me is a bargain because you just don't see it. And of course I sold my promo. It was fucked anyway. But this you just don't see it, and this was never released in England at the time. There was even a Japanese pressing from the 90s that came out. That's pretty rare too. But as far as I know, this is still there's a vinyl reissue you can get easily, but it's never been on CD. I mean, not that I don't really buy CDs that much unless there's box sets and shit. Anyway, awesome, great album. Next up, this is a more modern funk release, but it's by a absolute legend who's been making awesome soul and funk for years. Joe Bataan, awesome Latin funk legend, was mainly on the Fania label. This album, Call My Name, came out in 2005 on the Vampy Soul label, Spanish label. And when I first heard this, the track Chicka Boom, which is on here, I thought it was from the 70s, and I was trying to find out shit about this track, couldn't find out anything about it, and then discovered it was only a few years old. But even this is quite hard to find on vinyl now, and it's highly recommended. I seriously cannot recommend this album enough. Every track is a floor filler. It is fucking great, and it's all recorded on analog equipment too, so it's got that awesome sound. Tape rules, man. This album's great. I think you can still get it. You might have to pay quite a bit. But Vampy Soul, a really cool label. So that's that. My favourite Bataan album, which I don't own on vinyl, is Singing Some Soul from '72, but I don't own that. Next up, another vocal legend, Andy Bay. Of course, was with Gary Bart's NTU troupe, and did a shitload of other stuff. This is, I think, his first solo album from '74. Really good album, Experience and Judgment, which has got a nice version of Celestial Blues on it. What I love about this is it's got the old price stickers still on there, and it was a promo, as you can see the DJ stickers underneath there. 39 cents, what a bargain. I didn't pay that for it, obviously. But yeah, it's an original, of course. It's not an actual white label promo, but still nice. It's a good album, really good. It's the only album of his I own. But again, this is another one that's getting hard to find. Right, I've gone out on about Edwin Birdsong enough on one of my other videos. I fucking love this guy, man. And he was one of Roy Ayers' associates. He helped Roy put together tracks like The Memory and Running Away. And he made some badass albums. He only made 5 solo albums. I don't know why he didn't. I mean, I guess he just focused more on session work and writing. But this album, Supernatural, from '73. I mean, look, he even looks ahead of his time there. Right, you listen to this. I'm not a fan of Lenny Kravitz, but you can tell this is exactly where Lenny Kravitz got his sound from. Which is why I don't like him. He copies people too much. But no, this album is amazing, and all of his albums are good. My favourite album of his is probably the one after this, Dance of Survival. which was on his own private label, which is very rare, but is very good. But all his stuff's good, and it's not like normal funk. I mean, this is like rocky. This is what Hendrix would have been doing if he'd carried on. This is rocky funk, but it's fucking great. The track "Turn Around Hate," "Communicate," I will put on now actually because I could listen to it over and over again. Here, this track. It's another track I'm going to be covering in my band, hopefully. Just trying to get all the keyboard parts right, it's hard. Next up, another new funk band. I better move on here, man. I'm 10 minutes in, I'm only on the letter B. Breakestra. I'm sure you guys all know about these guys. They were part of the Stones Throw crew. They're on the Ubiquity label, mainly. Hit the Floor, great album. First album from... No, actually the third album. The first two albums were like covers albums. 2005, this is all their self-written stuff. Awesome album. Again, it's got that old school sound. Funky as hell. Really good. Unusual one here. Erik Burden and War. After the Animals had split up, the American Animals, he discovered this band called War, who of course became huge. But this is the second album that he did with them from 1970 or 71, I think. It's an English pressing. I mean, look, it's worth it just for that picture, man. What a bunch of cool guys, man. So yeah, this is a great album. This is an English pressing, like I say, and this is the first pressing which has the track PC3 on it, which was removed because of the lyric. I saw the Queen with her knickers down, soft and silky, they hit the ground, something like that. Obviously, people were horrified when they heard this in England. And in the States it was on MGM. But yeah, this is quite a rare album now, and very good, very funky. Next up, another unusual one, Bill Cosby. Now obviously, Bill Cosby is one of the greatest comedians, but he made some awesome, I mean this could be classed more as a jazz album, but some awesome funk and jazz albums. I think he plays keys and trumpet on this. Produced by Steve Gardner. Now, the first album, I mean, these are actually credited to Badfoot Brown, if you can read that, and the Bunyan's Bradford Funeral Marching Band. The first album on Uni has the track Martin's Funeral, which I've also got. Tribe Called Quest sampled it for We Can Get Down. But this is the second album, which gets mentioned a lot less, and it's just as good. And it's produced by Steve Gardner, and it's got the track Mouth of the Fish on it, which has got the heaviest break. Really good album, and yeah, I bought this sealed. You can get it fairly easily. It never goes for an awful lot of money, but you know, it's just one of those albums that was sort of sunk without a trace. It's really good though. I've got all his funk albums, even the one after this he did. Bill Cosby is not himself these days when he's doing Barry White impressions. It's hilarious, really good too. But this is more, this isn't a comedy album. It's just pure funk and jazz. Another great soul album, Lou Courtney, absolute legend. His first solo album, I believe, I'm in Need of Love. Nice promo copy. Glad I got one of these. And again, this was fairly cheap. I'll just change the track here. Yeah, this was fairly cheap. It's another one where every track's a winner. Just a really good soul album. On the Epic label. Trying to speed up a bit here. Now, I should know how to say their name. Of course you guys know this album. Simondi, that's what I've always called them, or Simand. I think it's Simondi. This is the first English pressing of their first album on Alaska. A tiny label, which was actually distributed by EMI over here. I mean, these guys all lived in Wembley, which is just down the road from me. Really cool album, of course. It's got Bra on it and The Message. I've got all three of their albums, they're all great. I just picked the one that it's just a nice pressing. So that's that. Legends. Still sound great, of course. Another recent funk album, fairly recent, the Dactaris on the Daptone label. This is the second pressing. The first pressing was on Desco, which is a lot rarer. The funny thing about this album is came out originally, I think, in '98. It's an Afro-funk album. They do a cover of Give It Up or Turn It Loose, cover of Musikawi Silt, which was an obscure Ethiopian funk track, another one that Egon discovered, and all self-pen stuff. And if you look, they've all got, I don't know if you can read that, they've all got African names here, but the guys are actually the Dap Kings and other guys involved in that label. So it's a pretty cool album, and it was the only release. Really good. Right, next, these next two by the same band are to me holy grails. One of them is the most valuable album I own, and one of this. Well, okay, Demon Fuzz. You guys know about Demon Fuzz? One of my all-time favourite bands. It's such a shame they didn't do enough. I first heard this album years ago and got heavily into it when I was in college because it was reissued. So I got the reissue, and then I picked up this original English pressing from a guy in Germany who bought it at the time. I've also got their EP. Great band. It's a mixture of prog and funk and jazz. Let's put a little bit on. That was Edwin Bird's song just then. Hang on a sec. There's a lot of instrument. There's only 5 tracks in this album, but it's heavy as hell. So there's a good story attached to this. You'll notice here I've got this. Take it out. A print out of an email. Basically, it's got the date 2005. I posted a message on, I can't remember what website it was. I think it was Mojo magazine website, saying, "Does anyone know what happened to Demon Fuzz? Anyone know?" Because obviously they're one of those bands that sort of, at the time, disappeared without a trace. Anyway, about a month passed, get an email from his daughter, Paddy Correa, who was the leader of the band. He was the sax player. There he is there. Pretty dark photo, but I'll show you another one in a minute. Emailed me saying, "Yeah, Paddy's my dad, blah blah blah. He lives in Queens in New York." So I sent him this email, and this was his reply, which I printed off. And he told me everything, about the guys. Sadly, the singer, hang on a sec, I always forget his name. Where is it? Yeah, sorry, the singer, Jesus Christ, hang on, sorry guys, Smokey, everyone called him. I can't remember his real name. He died, unfortunately, of internal bleeding after falling off a ladder. And Roy Roden, the keyboardist, also died from lymphoma. The rest of the guys are still alive. One of them lives in Harlesden, which isn't far from me. The trombonist, Clarence Crossdale, everyone called him Brooms. I'm such an idiot, right? I spoke to him at the time. I never met up with him, and now I've lost his number. Anyway, I still chat to Paddy. Paddy's a really good guy, and he's still playing stuff. He mainly plays steel pans now. Really talented guy, great musician. Which brings me to the second album, which even now, not a lot of people know this exists. So I actually picked this up for $30. Before I spoke to Paddy and Clarence, as you can see, it's signed by Paddy. Paddy later told me, I think there was only 100 of these made, so you can imagine how rare this is. This is easily the rarest album I own. There's only 100 made from 1972. It's a private pressing on his own label from the States. They moved back, I think they moved over to the States at the time. Most of it's reggae, funnily enough, but I thought I'd show it because it goes with the other album. But I've only ever seen another one come up for sale in the last year, and it's sold for a big sum of money. So this is one of my prized albums, and I still play it, but it is one of my most prized, and it is mint. The guy I bought it off in the States, he was a guitarist that knew them at the time. That's how he got it. Right, I might have to do this in 2 parts. It's getting pretty long. Let's move on. Earth, Wind and Fire. Of course, first album, 1971, great album. Much more raw sound than what they later became. This is a very rare English pressing, which I didn't realise it existed until I found it. It's got the same catalogue number as the American one, but it's the English one, manufactured by Pi. This is my favourite Earth, Wind and Fire album, without a doubt. The only original member on this album is the brothers, the bassist and the drummer. Everyone else left after the second album, and then they became superstars, like the Philip Bailey joint and everything. But this is a great album. I know I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts. Next up, one of my favourite singers of all time, of course, Mr. Marvin Gaye. This album's in my top 5 of all time, without a doubt. I don't think I need to say too much about it. It's the first English pressing, quite different to the American one. It doesn't have the gatefold sleeve. This is immaculate, and it has the lyric insert there, so it's quite different to the American one with the gatefold. But as far as quality goes, the old Tamla Motown English pressings, EMI were hooking that shit up, so it's as good as it's going to get. And I thought I'd show this as well. Of course, Trouble Man, again English pressing, non-gatefold, different sleeves slightly. It's got the old record shop sticker on the back there. It's another lovely copy, just brilliant. And how can you argue with a track like T Plays It Cool? Yeah, that's Marvin playing drums on that. Another one of my favourite singers, Al Green, of course. I didn't know which album to pick. I've got all of his stuff, but I picked that because I'm Still in Love with You is one of my favourite tracks. Again, this is an English pressing. The only album of his I don't have is the first one, Backup Train. But yeah, nearly all the Al Green albums I have are English pressings. Next up, of course, Mr. Isaac Hayes. This is my favourite Isaac album, followed very closely by Truck Turner. Hot Buttered Soul, I mean, it's just, Walk On By is just phenomenal, as is By the Time I Get to Phoenix. Just amazing. The thing that gets me about Walk On By is the end with the build-up when he's going crazy on the organ. It's just spot on. This is the very first English pressing, again pressed by EMI, the beautiful yellow Stax label. Very hard to find the first pressing now. Okay, that's that. Next up, now before you all get excited, this is not the original. This is not the original. Of course, the first pressing is one of the most valuable funk albums out there, John Hartzman and Circles. Really good album. Obviously the original was a private pressing. This is the repressing by Jazzman from 2009, numbered 297. So I mean already this is out of print. Just a great album, really good funk. It's got Day in the Life of, Talking About My Baby and Who Do You Love, which are brilliant. I'll play them to you now. John Hartzman was a sort of session musician who sadly died years ago, but really good. And he's playing everything on this apart from drums. Bass, keys, organ, flute, sax, guitar. Belgian funk, the JJ Band. Some of these guys ended up being in Mark Moulin's Placebo. This is from 1971. It was actually pressed in the in England, but this is a Dutch pressing. Really good album, just a great funk album. It's all sung in English. It was actually recorded in England as well. And of course it's on CBS. I'm pleased to say I've got one of those. The track Out of the Darkness particularly is very good. And Ghostface Killer sampled one of the tracks recently. Changing Face, I sampled that recently. Well worth checking out. Another one of my favourite singers, Mr. Eddie Kendricks. Take it out, it's in the shrink. It's funny actually, this is his best album without a doubt in my opinion. Just every track is flawless. I mean look at that cover. I've kept the States, I usually keep English pressings of Motown albums. I did have the English one, but the American one just looks better, the cover is so much better. The English one's got a completely different sleeve. I don't know why they did it, with a different picture of him, and that's in black and white. It's just not as good. And also, for some reason, the sides are reversed on the English pressing. So side 1 is side 2 and vice versa. That's the first pressing. I love that album. Girl, You Need a Change Your Mind is just, well, it's all good, of course. I'm going to have to stop in a minute and do another video. By the looks of things. Okay. Just got bits away, sorry guys. Just groove, it's John Hartzman. Call 'Em the Gang, of course. I'm not such a fan of the late stuff, but the early stuff I fucking love. It's the second album, Live at PJ's. I don't have the first album, it's very rare. But this is the English pressing on Mojo, which was a British soul label. Got a really nice label too. Manufactured by Polydor. Funnily enough, I actually bought this in Florida on holiday in a record shop for $10. Over here it's like 60 quid. But the interesting thing is, it's got bougie on it, which is amazing. But the American ones have NT on it, and it lists it on the sleeve, but the record actually plays the Penguin. It only does that with the English pressings. So quite an odd one, that. Next up, right, Now Again label. I know Derek Von, you've mentioned these guys. LA Carnival, Lester Abrams band. Derek Scott is one of the luckiest guys in the world because he has their original single, Colour. This album is incredible. Now, Colour was the only, again, like the Amnesty album, Colour was the only album single released by them at the time. Lester Abrams went on to do a lot of songwriting, ended up writing a few tracks for the Doobie Brothers. Trippy label as well. Seriously, basically, there's even a documentary on the Stone Story DVD about these guys. Egon got in touch with Lester Abrams, went round his house. Lester was like, "Yeah, I've got a whole album that was never released," and the rest, as they say, is history. I'll put a little bit on now. It's got to be done. It's the first track, Flying. Already you can hear this is just great. That is definitely one of the best. If this had come out at the time, I mean, it would be gold. You know what I mean? It's that good. John Lucian, another vocalist I absolutely adore. Second album, Rashida. I think it's second album. Also got the one after Mind's Eye, but Rashida takes some beating, definitely. Quite Terry Callier-ish. You know, really nice acoustic guitar. Really good vocals, a lot of scat singing, great stuff. First pressing, of course. That's John Lucian. I like my smooth soul as well, and if you want smooth soul, main ingredient's a good place to go. It's the first ever album, Tasteful Soul, great sleeve. Quite hard to find now, and it's got the nice Northern Track Magic Shoes on it, and also spinning around. Very sad because the vocalist, I can't remember his name, he was in the original lineup. He died in 1971 of leukemia. This is from 1970, the very first album, first pressing, English pressing. Again, pretty hard to find now. Next up, another one of my favourites, Mr. Curtis Mayfield. Of course, I love the Impressions as well, but I hardly have any of their albums because they're just extinct over there. But this is by far, in my opinion, the best thing Curtis ever did. It's just amazing. This album is incredible. First British pressing on the Black Buddha label. Kurtom wasn't around here at the time, and I thought with that I'd show the next album, Curtis Live, because that's also great and raw and funky as hell. It's got a great version of Mighty Mighty Spade and Whitey on it. Double album, again English pressing on Buddha. Really nice album. Another one of my favourite bands, and this is the only album I own, only because I just can't find the others at the moment. The Meters, Rejuvenation. This isn't really my favourite album, but it's still good. For me, you can't beat the early stuff, but this is still a nice album, of course. It's got Just Kiss My Baby on it. Brilliant cover. English pressing, again, I mean, even this is hard to find now. People just go crazy for them. And with good reason, you know. That's the Meters, of course. This is more of a jazz album, I suppose, but I put it in here because of the first track. It's the Shrink coming off. The legendary Idris Muhammad, Turn This Mother Out, which has got Could Heaven Ever Be Like This. Amazing track. It's the American pressing in the beautiful Kudu label with the inner. And I don't have the original 12 of Could Heaven Ever Be Like This, I wish I did. Next up, another rare one, Billy Wooten, who was sort of like Roy Ayers but never really got as big. That's quite a harsh way to put it. Sorry, Billy. No, really good vibes player. More of a session man than a front man, really. But one album he did make, which this could also be on the jazz video, was The 19th Hole, Smiling. This is another really rare one that I'm proud to say I own. It's on the Eastbound label, which was Westbound's other label, which focused more on the sort of jazzy releases. I think there's only about 10 albums on this label. They're all fucking expensive. This is the only album I own on that label, and I know it's got writing on the front, but it is a promo, and it is mint. Very, very pleased to have one of these, and I didn't pay that much for it. The guy I bought it off did not know what it was. Beautiful album, and it's got, you know, it's got an excellent cover of "You Caught Me Smiling Again," my favourite track from There's a Right Going On, and it's got a great cover of "Looking Through the Windows" as well. It's just a really nice mellow funk album, all instrumental too, pretty much. Got a few more. Let's see how far I get. Shuggy Otis, of course. Love Shuggy to bits. It's my favourite Shuggy album. Inspiration, Information. Hugely influenced by There's a Right Going On, but just took on a life of its own. There is nothing quite like this album. This album and Riot made me want to get into using vintage drum machines, which I did do for a while. And it's a promo with, if I can get it out, original press sheet with like a bio on it that only came with the promos. And that's a really nice one, and it's of course it's the original. I get the record out. Now one of my favourites, Minnie Riperton. It's my favourite mini album, Adventures in Paradise with Inside My Love. Great album, of course, classic English pressing. She was beautiful, man. Such a shame. Such a shame. Another greatly missed legend, Mr. Gil Scott-Heron. This is Pieces of a Man, of course. Second album, first pressing, laminated sleeve, Flying Dutchman. Don't need to say much about that, do I? It's just brilliant. Just brilliant. Another favourite female singer of mine, Dusty. Good old Dusty. Dusty in Memphis. It's the English pressing on Philips. Another great album. Very hard to find now because it didn't sell at the time over here. And this is mint. And again, different sleeve design to the English, American one. Back to Stone's Throw territory again. Stark Reality. You guys must have heard of this album. The original's worth about £1,000, I think. Absolutely amazing. Stuff of legend. I mean, even this goes for about 40 quid over here. So the story behind this is Hoagie Carmichael was doing a kids program, and they were commissioned to do the soundtrack, and they funked and fuzzed it up to hell, and it is incredible. So this is the whole soundtrack, and John Abercrombie was in the band too. If anyone has the original of this, I'd love to hear from you guys, because it's fucking rare. So even this is nice. This came out in 2001, so it's getting pretty old itself. Sorry, 2003. So that's Stark Reality, and I've also got the second album that now again put out that was unreleased stuff from 1969, which is also really good. And I love how they've done it like the Scotch Reel to Reel tape. Really cool. Really cool. I highly recommend them if you guys haven't heard them already. Then we're going to be right, I've got 2 more to go. This needs a mention because Melvin Van Peebles just is amazing. Not to everyone's taste, but this guy definitely, along with Gil, helped come up with the whole ghetto thing. You know, it's just amazing. And the music's by Open and Fire. The music's quite out of tune on this. It's strange. And I'm sad to say I still haven't seen the film because I just can't get it over here. But I love this album. I love all of this stuff. My favourite album of his really is the one as serious as a heart attack. That is amazing. No, it's Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death from 1969. That is a stunning album. But this is also great. I've got that as well. I just thought I'd show that because it's amazing. And last but not least, Mr. Stevie. It's my favourite Stevie album, Inner Visions. Need I say more? It's obviously dead easy to find, but not in such nice condition. This is an immaculate English pressing. So guys, yeah, this is my longest video so far. I'm sorry if it got a bit boring. I hope it didn't. If you watched it, thanks for watching, guys. And VC, you guys are awesome. It's a great feeling, this, and like I say, I know I've said it many times, I don't know why I didn't get into this before, because as you can see, I do like showing off my records. Speak soon.